So the next few weeks and the next few sessions, I wanted to focus on the regulatory part of Gen AI and AI. I spent a lot of time on the technology part, but what I'm seeing is that understanding the regulatory part is also very important. The technology might have unlimited capability, but the regulation might limit what we can use. Right? And that is the reason I am focusing on the regulation part right now. Now, why I am doing this, right? Why I am actually reading it and creating, sharing it with all. So this series, like this one, all the technology sessions that I also had, right? It stems from my own curiosity and my desire to understand uh, things by reading it. And what I have seen is if I read something and then explain it to someone or share with someone, that the concept further gets cemented in my neuroplastic brain and the memory retains for a longer time. And this is a technique that I have been using since my um, younger days. And later I found in neuroscience also, they said like, yeah, when you learn something and if you teach that thing to someone, it stays with you for a longer time. And that is the reason why I am actually sharing it with all. So the disclaimer is that the insights, the examples, and deductions that I'm presenting in these sessions, in my earlier sessions, are all based on my personal interpretation and extensive research. Don't believe my deductions. I may be wrong, right? So that's why I urge everyone not to take my analysis at face value, but to engage critically wherever possible. I will also add the link from which I have read something, deduced something, so that you can go and read it yourself and then um, find out if I am wrong or if there is a different perspective. Again, none of these presentations are any legal advice because I do not have the expertise in that. And while doing the sessions on the regulations of that are mentioned in European Union AI Act, I'm not going to follow any sequence while presenting the articles. I intend to cover all articles with time, but will focus on the ones that I feel most important and relevant first. Right. And the link that I'm following to go through the article is this, which is https://artificialintelligenceact.eu/AI Act Explorer. Today, I'm going to talk about Article 50, the transparency obligations. So in the article, I saw there are 7 obligations, which I have summarized as below. The first one is informing interaction with AI systems. So what the provision says is AI systems that interact directly with natural people, they use the term natural people to say it's a human versus AI, right? With natural people must inform them that they are interacting with AI unless it is obvious or if the AI is used for lawful criminal investigations. This is an example that I deduced from this is, for example, a customer service chatbot like GPT-4, like if you create a chatbot with GPT-4, should disclose that it is an AI. However, an AI monitoring public spaces for suspicious activities does not or may not need to reveal itself to the public. Marking AI-generated content. Right? The provision says outputs from AI systems that generate synthetic content, audio, image, video, text must be marked to show they are artificially generated except when used for basic editing tasks or for lawful criminal investigations. And the example that I deduce from this is, so an AI creating promotional videos should embed a watermark or metadata indicating the content is AI generated. However, the obligation may not apply where AI is used as an assistant by human to create a summary of a content, for example. And this particular line, let me actually go to the law or the act, right? So this is where it says that this, okay, so the providers of AI system including general purpose AI system generating synthetic audio, image, video, or text content shall ensure that the outputs of the AI system are marked in a machine readable format and detectable as artificially generated or manipulated. This obligation shall not apply to the extent the AI system perform an assistive function for standard editing or do not substantially alter the input data provided by the deployer or the semantics therefore were authorized by law to detect, prevent, investigate, or prosecute criminal offenses. Right? That is what the second provision is. Third provision is disclosure in emotion recognition and biometric systems. The provision says systems that recognize emotions or categorize biometrics must inform people of their operation except when used lawfully or lawfully for criminal investigations. The example I deduced from this is a retail store using emotion recognition to adapt marketing strategies must inform shoppers, likely through signs at entrances, but an AI used in an airport for security screening based on biometric data may not have to make a similar disclosure. The next provision is on disclosure of deep fake content. The provision says AI systems generating deep fake images, videos, or audio must disclose the content has been manipulated unless it is used for lawful purposes or forms part of artistic or journalistic content that is subject to human review. And the actual the text in the act, let me go there. This interesting. So this is the fourth one, right? So the fourth one says the obligations shall not apply where use is authorized by law to detect, prevent, prosecute criminal offenses, where the or where the AI generated content has undergone a process of human review or editorial control, and where a natural or legal person holds editorial responsibility for the publication of the content, right? That is one thing. The other one is this obligation shall not apply where the use is authorized by law to detect, prevent, investigate, or prosecute criminal offense, where the content forms part of the evidently artistic, creative, satirical, fictional, or analogous work or program. The transparency obligations set out in this paragraph are limited to disclosure of the existence of such generated or manipulated content in an appropriate manner that does not hamper the display or enjoyment of work, right? So this is what is meant by that that if it forms part of artistic or journalistic content that is subject to human review. So example I have deduced is a filmmaker using AI to create special effects must disclose the use of AI in the credits of the movie, but this is not necessary if the film is clearly a fictional work, right? That's what it deduced. The timing and clarity of information. So information about AI interaction or AI generated content must be clearly provided at the first instance of interaction or exposure. For example, a virtual reality game using AI generated content should display a disclaimer at the game startup screen informing players of the use of AI. Then the sixth provision is the general legal framework, which is this specific AI transparency obligations do not override other general transparency requirements under EU or national laws. For example, an AI-driven medical diagnostic tool must comply with this AI-specific transparency rules, but also with broader medical device regulations regarding transparency and patient information. Right? The last one is codes of practice and regulatory oversight. The provision says encourages the creation of practice codes for marking AI-generated content and allows for regulatory oversight to ensure compliance. An example is an industry consortium might develop a standardized approach to watermark AI-generated content in news media, which could be endorsed or mandated by regulatory bodies if deemed adequate. So these are the 7 provisions in Article 50, and these are my uh, personal explanations and deductions reading this from the article, directly from the article, right? Again, I am doing it so that I can remember this. so that it gets cemented in my mind. The way I don't have to look at internet while coding Python. Um, I'm also thinking by doing this, I'll be able to uh, create applications where the regulations will be cemented in my mind. And I probably will, it will help me to actually create things by keeping this, the regulatory things in mind. Right? That's the purpose. So that's all for this session. I'm going to present some more articles in my subsequent recordings. Thank you.